live here. So Rene, I just want you to be right in the center of the video. Can you just sit in the center? Yeah, a little bit more. And I need a little bit more of your ceiling here. Yeah, just put your camera up. That's perfect. Can you hear us?
I can hear you very well, and I can
That's
see you
great.
very well as well.
Me
That's
too.
great. That's
Just
great.
guide me through. I will follow very nicely.
That's great. So
Okay.
you already have the questions, right? So I was thinking of maybe for the opening uh, we we could we could add a video. Like I had already the video from ECC here. What do you think about? I just shortened this video a little bit, so it's just 2 minute video. Do you think we can open this live session with this video? I can test right now.
The European Cultural Centre wants to offer an international platform for creative people from all over the world to meet in Venice and to start a dialogue among fundamental topics of time, space and existence. We invite architects from all over the world, but also artists, photographers, sculptors with artworks that range from photography, models, concepts, but also site-specific installations.
Some architects are referring to social housing, some are referring to landscape, some are showing their care for the environment and for the sustainability. We have for this year the presentation of Daniel Libeskin, and that is the project called Facing Gaia.
I think there are great opportunities today to reorient oneself how architecture is constructed and how to overcome the old division between nature and culture. From the invitation of the ECC to really be able to position it here in Venice.
So there was this natural desire to share this knowledge with young generations, and that's how the idea of the European Cultural Academy came to light. This year our focus is on contemporary architecture and combining new and old.
This year we also give space to schools and universities. They don't just bring a project or a presentation on a wall, but they really bring researches that they will develop during the 6 months exhibitions in Venice.
Their lives, they can give form to the space that we live, the way we interact with each other, and they have a major impact in the way we will live our lives in the future.
So what do you think about this? We can just opening with this video and then you start the presentation, or we can do anything different. What do you think?
Yeah, actually, we're going to introduce Rene first. He's going to introduce himself, and then he's going to say a video will tell more about, and then the video comes after Rene. Okay, but you can do that later. We don't have to do that now, you know. Okay, so Rene, first question, would you introduce yourself and who you are, and then say that a video will come after what you say. Introduce the video.
Yes, I'm Rene Rijkmeijer. I'm a Dutch artist, and 10 years ago I started a project based in Venice, which is now called the European Cultural Centre. It's a platform for cultural activities, and we mainly organize contemporary art and architecture exhibitions in Venice, and we have started now satellites in Moscow, New York, Cape Town, Tokyo, Mumbai. It's a growing project.
Okay, and then now we're going to watch a video that explains us more about the ECC, European Cultural Center. So the video will come now, because Eric is going to edit. And after the video, I'm going to start asking you some questions. The idea, we try to register this moment in history where art and pandemic are interacting in some way. Some people are producing, some people stop producing. We had to postponed the Veneza Biennale because of ECC, but a lot of things are happening on the internet scale. For instance, we are selling art now more than before because people are buying more through the internet. And so the first question for you is going to be, tell us what your life as president of ECC was before the pandemic and now in the pandemic, and why did you transfer the pandemic for the Biennale for next year? A little bit about that, would you?
Yes. Well, having been for many years, a very active artist, life as an organizer, organizing the European Cultural Center is not that romantic. My life mainly is sitting on a couch with a laptop and a telephone, and you organize people, you organize exhibitions online and with verbal communication via Skype or telephone.
Yes.
This pandemic has, for my personal life, the way how I fill in my days in the daily activity, not much changed here. So the only thing that changed for me in my daily life is that the organizational tasks has sincerely changed into running a very successful operation, a very successful cultural organization. Now we were suddenly faced with how can we survive these stormy waters? So we had to all sit together, brainstorm, and find the necessary solutions. How could we proceed in this situation? I cannot hear you, Louis. I cannot hear you.
Okay, sorry. I was muted because someone's talking here. Sorry about that. How's your feeling about, the frustration of lots of people? They had to cancel their programs for not only ECC, but the art exhibitions. That's a big frustration from the side of artists and gallerists and everyone who's involved in the arts. They had to postpone, like you did, everything to next year. And and in terms of money, so lots of people lost money. And what's your feeling about that?
Yeah, this is, I don't think that it is the right moment to have any kind of frustrations. It's a situation we have to learn to deal with. And as a organizer, as a person who runs an organization with many other people together, yes, we lose money. We lose about 1 million euros, but that is no reason for frustration. Yes, we had difficulties finding a way how to survive. We managed. We will do very fine again. We had to just make a lot of adjustments, but we're going to be fine. But there's no reason to be frustrated because of that. That is just a challenge. That is a financial challenge, an organizational challenge, where everybody has to sit together and find solutions. It's an unusual situation, but fortunately we managed it. And as an artist, listen, I remember Egon Schiele, who died of the Spanish flu in 1918. I remember Picasso making fantastic works during World War II, with no materials. As an artist, these are just opportunities. These are opportunities to express yourself, to reflect upon your surrounding, to reflect upon what is happening in the world, what is happening in your brain with your awareness. No room for frustrations. I'm very sorry.
That's a very good point. And some artists, some people, they realize what you say. And then people working, putting things ahead. But lots of people are crying over the pandemic and they don't feel energy. They have energy to keep on doing anything. We're trying to help as much as we can. Some of our artists, and partners, in Australia and all over. but it's not easy for some people to cope with that. That's why this kind of live with someone like you, inspirational talk and telling people what alternatives they have, it's very important, I tell you. So we're trying to, what words of inspiration do you have for young people embarking on a career in a creative arts? I mean, you said already it's part of it, but let's focus a little bit on the young people. They're suffering a lot because they normally don't have much money.
Yes, but I'm very sorry, but it doesn't need much money to make art. You can make good quality art with very, very little means. It needs good brains to make good quality art. And brains you have for free. No? So again, there is no space for frustration. Many artists made their best works in times of self-struggle, struggle with their own thoughts, with their ideas, times of poverty, times of fighting with their surroundings, Nobody should despair here. Everybody should take a chance. Yes, this will be a temporary situation. Eventually, it will be mastered in one way or another way. And then we will look back to all those artworks that had been created in reflection upon these times.
Yeah.
So I think that young people should just take their chances and go for it. Just make the best out of it.
Yes, the points that they need money to survive, and lots of people, they don't even have that today. They don't have perspective, But I got your point. It's very true what you said. But there is one point. How are you? What changes are you making to make this ACC Biennale next year, 2021, a successful one? I mean, is there any change in adaptation? What are you doing to make this a successful event?
Yeah, it was, of course, in February, March, when we got confronted with this situation. We had to see what is going to happen, and we are part of the Venice Biennale, so we had to also check what do the other organizers in the Venice Biennale plan and what are their ideas. The ideas have changed, and for many different reasons. We decided to follow the main group of organizers and postpone to the year 2021 with our architecture exhibition. And since we are very optimistic that a second or third wave from this virus can be handled in a doable way, of course, nobody is happy with all the people who unfortunately are going to go to die. But for us, there were no further changes necessary. It was just a simple postponement. And that made many people who wanted to join very happy because, of course, they had no time to prepare well. They had no time to find fundraising, find funds and find sponsors. Many sponsors, of course, are not in a financial strong position. So many participants hope that their sponsors will recover. We have a lot of universities. Universities are, I would say, hard hit and have funding difficulties. So I think moving the exhibition to 2021 on the end was a good thing. Short term, it brought us a lot of trouble. We have like 70 people working at our organization, for which unfortunately we had to put 21 people at the moment of non-active in the hope that we will be able to re-employ them in February next year.
But one point, even next year, people are not going to travel that much. It's expect that it will take a year or two until things go back to normal. And then we are expecting in general a new normal that's going to be less people presential, going there in Venice personally. And then usually you have like 500,000 people. Maybe will not be that many next year. If that's so, what do you think can be done for the Biennale to reach people all over the world? I know you have a very
Yes.
good, uh, you know, um, work done on the internet and so on. I mean, are you improving that? What's going to
No,
be done
I
to have
understand,
that?
and we had, of course, it's an important topic for us because we normally have more than 600,000 visitors.
Yeah.
But from these 600,000 visitors, 200,000, 250,000 people are people who are not necessarily professionally related visitors. They are people who are randomly a little interested and they have a look. Those visitors, from those, we will miss half of them. Half of them will not come to Venice.
Yes.
But those people who are professionally related to what we do, in this case 2021 Architecture Biennale, those people will for sure come, because the Venice Biennale 2021 is going to happen, whereby many other events have cancelled and will not happen at all anymore, or even organizers who have not survived.
Yes.
So it sounds very cruel, but here it is the strongest cultural organizers survived, and they will have their exhibitions happening. And by that, yes, they will take the visitors who perhaps would have gone somewhere else normally and go now to those lesser cultural events happening. So we are not that pessimistic about the amount of numbers of visitors, but we are aware that some of the normal regular tourists, let's say an American tourist who just by fun wanted to go to Venice, will not come next year. But the professionals, they all come.
Okay. I know you have a very strong virtual presence. We thought, like some people, about doing a gallery in New York City, transforming into a studio, TV studio, with several cameras, and we are doing that because we feel that people are not going to come, that many anymore people are not going to come to the gallery. So we want to be able to take the gallery to their homes. And that's new, let's say, normal, that we believe in. Some people believe in that too. And I know you have a great team there and they do a lot of things on that way. Is there any possibility, you think this is a strong factor for next year to prepare something that you can take these, ECC show, events to people's home all over the world, because you can go to, through the internet.
Since 5 years, we publish online virtual tours of our exhibitions. So people can walk, like in a Google tour, Street View, through the exhibition. We do that 5 years in a row now. So for all people from all over the world, they can easily see the entire exhibition via their laptop. But although it is possible in architecture to come together, the participants with potential clients, and especially in the contemporary art exhibition that we do, a lot of artists and galleries find collectors and clients in the palazzos. Still, those meetings are not done in person. The visitor either sees it in the virtual tour or sees it on location in the palace and can contact the maker of the painting or the gallery of the artist in order to add this artwork to its collection. So the virtual presence is a very democratic way of being present. Although our exhibitions are also free of entry, the virtual tours, of course, don't even need you to travel. Or you can see the virtual tour and think, that's nice, I'm going to have a look in reality. So for us, being present online is just one of the media that we use to attract awareness about our activities.
Okay. What's the most important lesson you think we could learn, we could take from this pandemic? We could learn in this moment.
I think it's a very simple lesson which we should learn from everything we do every day. We have to try, each of us, to live as responsibly as possible, to create an as quality life and as interesting life as that we can, and just enjoy that we are alive, enjoy that we are existing.
Okay, that's a good one. I like that. In terms of architects now, next year is going to be the architecture, and then the following year art, and then so on. So we're going to change the I think the Biennale of Venice is doing that too, yeah? So
yes.
This year is zero, everything starts next year again, 1 year.
Yes, the Contemporary Art Biennale will happen from April till November 2022.
Okay, I see. That's good. And then by doing that, you think it's going to be 6 months again, from May to November. And then can you talk about how it's going to be next year? This is important information for people who are going to be listening to us, to be hearing this.
Yes, the Contemporary Art Biennale will actually be 7 months in 2022. And everybody expects that by then we can look back in time and remember the complexity of this pandemic, and those who have survived it without difficulties and without having lost people close to them can really enjoy that they are alive and can create a new future again, perhaps with a heightened awareness to enjoy life as such.
So you live in Amsterdam, and the work you're doing, basically, the biggest one is in Venice. What's the difference between life in Venice and life in Amsterdam now? If you can just tell us a little bit.
I just was in Venice 4 days ago, and I traveled there by car. It's a 14-hour drive. And it was very interesting to see, because Europe inhabits many different cultures and many different attitudes. The Dutch are in general a little bit more optimistic, and they're a little bit more realistic. And we passed through Germany together with Nina, my partner, and we saw the real German strict attitude, driving to Austria, very scared attitude, and ending up in Venice, where everybody is over careful, following law and order, in the hope that everything will turn to normal soon. It was interesting to see that Italy is, of course, economically very, very hard hit, and people who work don't get salaries, jobs are lost, there is little hope for future at the moment. So I hope that in July, August, when the first European tourists are traveling again to Italy, that they bring some euros to those countries that need it desperately. Because the fact is, here in the Netherlands, even if you would not have gotten any money, nobody starves to death here. Nobody is really, really poor. But in Italy, there is no network that can help those who are in desperate need of help. So we should all do that. So our foundation also created an emergency fund for those people that we had to let go, but come in financial trouble. They can knock on our door, and we will make sure that their head stays above water, no matter how we are standing ourselves. There's a social obligation that all of us has to the other people sharing life with us.
Okay. Is there anything different you're doing for next year, or is going to be the same thing like the years before, or you're preparing something different?
No, our architecture exhibition will be handled by us in the exact same way. It might be that some architects focus more upon how we all live together, and might bring new plans, new designs, which might reflect upon the pandemic as we witnessed it. But we ourselves as organizers handle everything the exact same way.
The same way. Okay. Would you like to say anything else for the people who are going to be listening, to these?
I think, there's not,
anything.
there's not much to say.
I'm not going to be shown. This live, I'm not going to be in, just you. I'm just facilitating, because she's going to show just you.
That's fine.
Something.
Yes,
so tell whatever
you
want people to know about the ECC, about you, about what they can expect for next year. What, like you say now, they are going to improve according to the pandemic. This is a nice point.
When this pandemic started small, it all took us by surprise. No? Nobody from us had expected this kind of magnitude. Yes, we knew from the history books that this kind of things happen. It was not to be expected in this scale. And especially the economic disastrous outcome that was seemingly unavoidable made it difficult for people. But I think there's also a chance in all this happening, a chance that we are more aware to be more careful with our surroundings. Choose well the goals in life. Don't let money or greed take over. Choose for quality values in life. And then don't be scared. Live your life the most beautiful you can, because it's not very long. It's actually very short. And you have an obligation towards yourself and towards the people around you to live as responsibly as you can, to be the best quality human being that you can be, and then make your life as interesting as you can, and try to live healthy and long as much as you can. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I don't know if Lucas, you want to ask any question? You were there?
No, I'm fine. And sometimes in a few sentences you can say more than in a long story. And I appreciate your efforts. I like it that you are so active. And I hope you're doing okay.
We are doing fine. We are doing fine.
I have many gallery friends in trouble.
No, we are doing better than before, as a matter of fact, in the way that things, because we are exploring new ways of doing business, and it's been successful now. I mean, it really was, for us, pandemic came to teach us a lesson.
Yeah.
And to learn new ways. We are doing a documentary now, and Lucas is the director of documentary. He did excellent documentaries in the past. So we are going to transform our gallery in a TV studio, going to produce TV shows. Because what you have there in the past, maybe you're going to do that. That's what I have to ask you later. What we had in the past was you show, but you don't have a host. We are going to have a host there, telling, like a TV show, telling people what they're seeing and interacting, and letting people from all over the world ask questions. You know what I mean? So we're going to really produce something that people can feel they are in the Motor Palace, in our gallery, whatever. That's what we're working now. And that's going to be more dynamic. Just if you allow them to come and see, it's one thing. But if you bring interaction into the system, I think it's going to be stronger.
Yeah.
And we have nice people with us. David Lynch, we are bringing Jim Carrey, we bring a lot of nice people to talk about that too.
Yeah. Yeah, it might have brought quite some more humans closer together, this pandemic. We all remember that we are human after all.
Yes, that's the big point.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to take more of your time. I thank you very much. And
my pleasure. Thank you very much.
Lucas.
So just 1 minute, Lucas. I was speaking to Lucas. So we need a better introduction, actually, because it was kind of messy. We combined.
Okay.
So Lucas, can you just give us the direction? So what would you like me to do? Like the first one is going to be the Louis introducing Rene, and then I can roll the video. So
and then
just let me
Rene, I
know.
can ask him to
Yeah.
introduce himself, and he
I can
talks
do again. I'll
about
do again.
himself, and then the video comes.
Just
Can you do that?
a sec. So Lucas is doing this documentary. So
Okay.
what do you say about that?
Yeah, Lucas, you tell
Lucas,
me.
what elements do you need inside the introduction?
I think it's good because Luis want me showing the how to say interview, introduce myself, but like I'm fine because this conversation between you and Luis, I feel really good. You guys talk a lot of things, what I really appreciate, and I really enjoy last
The
moment.
last part, right?
Yeah, last part is really powerful, and
The message behind
yeah, that's good for me. And actually, can I ask a simple question? Because Luis and I, when we talk about the documentaries about pandemic, we related on a historical moment, the Spanish flu. Did you have any idea about that? I mean, some how to say feeling relied on the flu in 1918.
Yes.
I mean the Spanish flu. Can you say something about that?
Me, eh?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, of course, when a pandemic like this is developing, there is no escape. You have to check what happened approximately 100 years ago, 1917 and 1918, when there was in 1917 the first wave of Spanish flu, and then the second bigger, much stronger wave in 1918. And especially because several famous people died. A very famous Austrian artist, Egon Schiele, died of the Spanish flu. And it went all very, very fast that time. And it was, of course, seemingly more a deadly kind of virus than this one is. But it makes you aware, of course, that this might happen to us again. And this virus might mutate and become stronger. This sheer awareness, how small, how just dust we are, and that life can be wiped out. Very, very simple. I think that should all of us make reconsider our own values in life. And such did the people 100 years ago. Such they did after World War I and World War II. We should not complain. We should not be frustrated. We should take everything as a moment of reflection to see where do we want to go and how do we want to go there. And then make the best out of it. That's what we are supposed to do.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Would you still need a small new introduction, or is it okay?
Yes. Would you like to make a small introduction yourself and what's going to be the ACC?
Okay.
And now we are going to see a video that explains more about.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, Erica, can we start now?
Just a sec. You are not going to be on the frame, right? So
No,
I can remove everybody.
Yes, you can remove everybody. Just have me.
He's going to introduce Rene. He's going to introduce himself.
Yeah, no. But before I can record something introducing the live, and then Rene comes, and then I tell. Or you want me to do that now, or shall I? Can you edit this kind of thing, or you have to?
Even that, we have to be able to capture everything right now, so Lucas can edit afterwards.
Okay,
everything we have to capture right now. So I just want to know if you want to be on the frame, so you can introduce Rene, and then he can speak from himself, right?
I can do that, no problem.
All right.
Do you think, Lucas? You want to do that? You want that? I say something, and then I ask Rene to introduce himself. I just introduce the documentary. I just say no, because this is going to be in the middle of several other things. It's not going to be okay. So
I can just introduce myself and you can later
just
group
introduce
it in.
yourself, because then this is
Later
going
cut
to be
it
part of other interviews, other,
in. Yes, yes, yes.
okay?
Because the
Just
whole footage is, we have both of you on the frame. So I didn't know that you were not going to be on the frame, Louis.
okay. I can be on the frame. I'll do whatever you guys
So
tell me to
it's
do. Thank
better,
you very much.
better to introduce as a Safira Ventura
Okay, I
Gallery.
do. No problem. I can introduce Rene.
All right.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
going to keep just
Just
both
say
of you. We're going to remove,
hello, everyone.
right? Anything
We'd
to
like
add,
to.
Louis?
We're going to be talking to Mr. Rene Rittman. Rene Rittman.
Rittmeyer. My name is
Rittmeyer.
Rene Reitmeyer.
Reitmeyer, from the
Yes.
president of the European Cultural Center. And I would like Rene to introduce himself. That has to be very simple because we don't have.
No problem. Okay, and then after he introduces himself, you can call the video, right?
Yes, and then he's
Right.
going to call the video. See, now you guys are going to see the video,
Yes.
and then you put
Yes,
the
yes.
video. And then,
Perfect. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep you both. Okay, I'm going to
Yes.
remove Lucas. Any words?
No, I would be. I'm
All
fine.
right,
okay,
you're fine. Okay.
Okay.
okay,
So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, action, and
Okay.
you go, right?
okay, okay.
1, 2, 3.
Hello, everyone. My name is Luis Ventura, and we are going to have a live with Mr. Rene Reitmeyer. Sorry, come again, Rene
That's very
Reitmeyer.
fine. You don't have to do it again. That's nice, those kind of things.
Okay, Rene Reitmeyer, and we're going to have a nice talk today about the European Cultural Center. Rene is the president of the ECC, and let's hear. Rene, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Rene Reitmeyer, and I'm an artist from the Netherlands. About 10 years ago, I started in Venice, Italy, a project which is now called the European Cultural Center. It's an organization which creates contemporary art and architecture exhibitions as part of the Venice Biennale. And in the meantime, we have been doing fine, and we expanded to cities like Moscow, Tokyo, New York, Mumbai, Cape Town. It becomes a global enterprise. Our main activities, however, are still in Venice, where in 2021 we will host a very large architecture exhibition, actually the largest in the world, and in 2022 the Contemporary Art Biennale. And now we will show you a very small introduction video that we made about the project.
Okay, and the video comes in. Is that okay?
Does it work for you, Lucas?
Yes, nice. I think it's good.
Any more wishes, Lucas? I am at your command.
I am too. I'm at your command too. So anything else, guys? Or it's all right. Finish now. Is that okay?
I just
good.
feel,
Yeah.
so the ending. Rene just say thank you, and he gives us his message. And do you think Luis can come and say something to wrap the video, or I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think thank you very much for participating in this video, sharing ideas, and I think that's positive messages.
I really need you to speak something at the end for the live, but I'm not sure if Lucas needs something else.
I think it's good. I
I
don't.
think we have enough. Yeah, I think we have enough
All right.
here. Yeah, everything's okay.
So let's record just this last part with Luis just wrapping everything out.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Just a sec. I have to remove everything.
Thank you, everyone. I hope you liked this live with Mr. Rene and the president of ECC. And goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You.
And cut.
Thank
right.
you, Rene. Thank you, Rene.
Thank you so
We
much.
send you after we edit everything. We send you so you can approve. Okay.
Lucas,
Thank
good luck
you.
with it. I wish you a very nice time. Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye. Thanks.
Thank
We
you.
see each
Take care.
other.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye.